Who did they think you were? Weak, passive, predictable, forgettable? And, more importantly, who are you about to become? There is a version of you that the world never believed would exist, a version they quietly doubted, underestimated, or dismissed without hesitation. People build an image of you based on your past, your mistakes, your hesitations, and your weakest moments, and then they assume you will never rise beyond it. They expect you to stay small because it makes their world easier to understand. Machiavelli would tell you this: the most powerful transformation is the one no one sees coming. Not the loud reinvention, not the dramatic announcement, but the silent rise, the disciplined evolution. The refusal to remain what they remember, becoming the man they thought you'd never be, is not an act of rebellion, it is an act of sovereignty. This transformation requires shedding every outdated version of yourself that others still cling to. It means building new standards, mastering your emotions, sharpening your focus, and moving with an ambition that does not seek permission. When you transform quietly, your results speak with a violence that explanations never could. This lesson will show you how to rise with strategy, discipline, and Machiavellian precision. How to construct a self that commands respect without asking, that outgrows judgment without reacting, and that becomes undeniable simply by existing. So ask yourself now, are you ready to become the man they thought you'd never be? Let's begin. Transformation does not begin with motivation, inspiration, or external pressure. It begins with identity, specifically, the quiet dismantling of the identity that keeps you small. The man they think you are is built from your past patterns. The man you will become is built from the patterns you choose next. Machiavelli understood that to rule anything, your life, your mind, your future, you must first rule the story you tell yourself about who you are. This process happens in silence. You do not announce your change. You do not seek applause for it. You do not broadcast your new goals to people who benefit from the older version of you. You evolve privately because the early stages of transformation are fragile. In the beginning, you are like a kingdom under reconstruction, walls half built, foundations unsteady. Any criticism, doubt, or ridicule can weaken your resolve, so you guard your evolution. You shield it from eyes that prefer you stagnant. Rewrite your identity by eliminating the habits that contradict the man you want to become. Not all at once, strategically. Pick the behaviors that do the most damage and dismantle them first. Replace passive routines with purposeful ones. Replace reaction with restraint. Replace validation seeking with self-command. Every small act is a vote for your future self. Then, build the structure your new identity will stand on. Discipline is the frame. Consistency is the foundation. Vision is the blueprint. A man without these collapses into his old patterns the moment pressure arrives, but a man who builds himself with intention becomes immovable under force. Machiavelli would remind you that identity is not internal alone, it is performed. You must begin moving as the man you intend to be even before you fully feel like him. Walk with deliberation. Speak with precision. Hold your boundaries as if they were law. Human psychology adapts to behavior. Your mind will catch up to the standard you enforce. During this silent reconstruction, others will still speak to the old you. They will expect the old reactions, the old weaknesses, the old patterns. Let them. Do not correct them. Your transformation is not theirs to understand. In time, they will realize the truth on their own. Identity is not found, it is forged, and the forging happens away from the crowd. The man they thought you'd never be is already forming the moment you stop living in response to who they believed you were. Nothing strengthens a man faster than the quiet awareness that others have counted him out. Doubt is not an insult, it is energy. It is the purest form of motivation because it carries no comfort, no applause, no gentle encouragement. It forces you to confront yourself. It stings, but in that sting is ignition. Machiavelli would say that a wise man uses the perception of others as leverage, not for validation, but for direction. When they doubt you, it tells you precisely where your weaknesses used to be. People judge based on patterns. If they believe you cannot grow, it is because your past taught them that. Instead of resenting their judgment, study it. Their doubt reveals the exact areas you must sharpen. Their disbelief outlines the path to your development. What they think you can't do becomes a checklist for what you must master. This is how a strategist turns slight into strength. He does not try to change their minds. He uses their expectations as a map. He lets their low vision of him define the gap he will soon cross. And as he works, he speaks nothing of his progress. Silence becomes his shield, progress becomes his proof. Doubt also protects you from arrogance. When no one believes in you, you do not rise with ego, you rise with hunger. You do not grow for applause, you grow for dominance over your former self. Their disbelief keeps you grounded while sharpening your focus. You become disciplined not to impress anyone, but to ensure that your trajectory belongs entirely to you. Most people react to doubt emotionally. They argue, they defend, they try to convince the world. The strategist does none of this. He lets doubt sit in the air like a challenge. He does not fight it, he absorbs it, and then he builds in silence until the results become irrefutable. Understand this. Proving them wrong is not the objective. Becoming undeniable is. When you rise far beyond their expectations, there will be a moment always quiet, often private, when they look at you and realize they never truly knew you. Transformation is the only argument that cannot be debated. Let their doubt feed the fire, not your insecurity. For nothing is more dangerous than a man forged by the disbelief of others, moving toward a future they never imagined he'd reach. Becoming the man they thought you'd never be requires a form of internal ruthlessness, not toward others, but toward the versions of yourself that keep you small. You cannot rise while dragging your old habits, fears, and insecurities behind you. Transformation demands sacrifice. You must kill the weaker self so the stronger one can breathe. Machiavelli understood this principle in politics. If you allow old structures to remain, they will interfere with new power. The same is true within you. Begin by identifying your weakest patterns. The excuses you repeat, the comforts you cling to, the behaviors you justify, even though they drain you. These are not harmless habits, they are anchors tied to the man you used to be, the man they think you still are. Remove them with surgical precision, one at a time. No ceremony, no regret. Discipline will not feel natural at first. That is because you have lived so long inside your weaknesses that strength feels foreign. But the moment you force yourself to do what the weaker version of you avoided, wake early, train your body, build your skills, enforce your boundaries, you create a fracture in the old identity. And that fracture is the start of liberation. Understand this. The old you will fight for survival. It will whisper excuses. It will crave comfort. It will remind you of how familiar weakness feels. But you cannot negotiate with the version of you that failed to rise. You must outgrow him without apology. You must deny him oxygen. This process is not emotional, it is strategic. If a habit weakens you, eliminate it. If a relationship drains you, distance it. If a mindset limits you, replace it. You do not need to hate the old you. You simply need to bury him. Because the man they never imagined you could become cannot grow in the same soil where the weaker you once stood. Transformation requires clearing the ground. Only then can you build a self that commands respect, internally and externally. Discipline is the backbone of reinvention. Without it, identity remains fantasy, ambition collapses under pressure, and potential stays buried beneath excuses. To become the man they thought you'd never be, you must build discipline so consistently that it becomes indistinguishable from your character. Not an effort, not a phase, a nature. Machiavelli understood that strength is not proven through occasional intensity, but through unwavering consistency. A ruler who cannot control himself cannot control anything around him. Likewise, a man who cannot command his own habits will forever be a prisoner of circumstance. Discipline is not the chains that bind you, it is the structure that frees you. Begin with small, non-negotiable standards. Wake at the same time, train your body daily, protect your attention, finish what you start. These are not glamorous acts, but they change you at the cellular level. Every disciplined choice whispers to your mind, I am in control now. Most men pursue discipline only when motivated. The strategist trains himself to act without the emotional boost. Discipline becomes strongest when practiced without desire. When you rise without wanting to, when you work without excitement, when you persist without applause, that is where the new identity forms. Make discipline visible in your posture, your tone, your habits. People feel when a man governs himself. He speaks less impulsively, he moves with intention, he reacts with clarity instead of emotion. His presence becomes ordered, and that order translates into authority. Do not announce your discipline. Do not broadcast your routines. The more private your discipline, the more powerful it becomes. The world should see only the results, never the repetitions that built them. Quiet discipline is feared because it cannot be tracked, predicted, or manipulated. And here lies the truth. The man they thought you'd never be is not created in breakthroughs. He is built in the dull, consistent, invisible work that no one applauds. When discipline becomes your default, you no longer negotiate with weakness. You no longer betray yourself for comfort. You rise not because it's easy, but because it's who you are. At that point, transformation is no longer an effort. It is inevitable. Every man who transforms must, at some point, step into a period of strategic isolation. Not loneliness, not exile, strategy. Isolation is where you separate from the noise, detach from old influences, and rebuild yourself without interruption. Machiavelli understood this principle deeply. A ruler becomes dangerous the moment he stops being shaped by the crowd. The same is true for you. Strategic isolation is not disappearing, it is refining. You step back to sharpen your mind, clarify your direction, and strengthen your inner command. Most people cannot grow because they never escape the gravitational pull of their environment. They stay surrounded by the same voices, the same habits, the same routines. This traps them inside the identity others expect from them. When you isolate, you break that gravitational field. You reclaim your attention. You regain sovereignty over your time. You silence the opinions that weaken your resolve. And in that silence, your real thoughts surface, unfiltered, unmanipulated, unclouded. This is not about becoming a recluse. It is about intentionally limiting access. You scale back conversations that drain you. You stop explaining your goals to people who misunderstand ambition. You shrink your circle to those who align with your direction, or to no one at all for a while. During this period, your habits intensify. You train harder, think deeper, work smarter. You begin to operate with a level of focus impossible in constant social noise. Even your energy changes. You become calmer, more deliberate, more selective. People sense it, even from a distance. Strategic isolation also reveals who truly values you. When you step back, some will drift, others will chase your presence. The ones who drift were never for you. The ones who pursue your energy respect your growth. Both outcomes strengthen you. Understand this. Transformation requires space. Evolution requires silence. Greatness requires distance. When you return from strategic isolation, you are no longer the man they remember. You are sharper, harder, clearer, and your presence carries a gravity they cannot explain. This is how you rise, quietly, by leaving long enough to rebuild and returning as someone they never saw coming. There is a moment in every transformation when you must stop talking entirely and let your actions speak with a force that words could never match. Most people sabotage their growth by announcing it too early, seeking validation, or explaining their plans to those who secretly hope they fail. Machiavelli would call this a strategic error because visibility invites interference, envy, and resistance. The man who rises should rise quietly. The power of silence is that it cannot be debated. When you say nothing about your goals, no one can discourage you. When you reveal nothing of your strategy, no one can sabotage it. When you show nothing of your progress, no one can compare themselves to you long enough to resent you. Silence removes friction. It protects your momentum. Instead of telling people who you're becoming, show them through undeniable results. Your appearance changes, your work ethic hardens, your presence gains weight. Your confidence becomes quieter, but sharper. People start to notice shifts they cannot name. They sense discipline in your posture, clarity in your eyes, authority in your stillness. And the beauty is this: they notice after the transformation has already taken root. They see the results, not the struggle. They witness the evolution, but not the sacrifices. They respond to your power without ever knowing how you built it. Let results be your language. Let silence be your shield. Let progress be your proof. A man who speaks too much invites doubt. A man who works quietly invites curiosity. A man who transforms silently becomes untouchable. When the results finally appear, those who doubted you fall silent. Those who underestimated you stand corrected. And those who never believed in you must now face the undeniable truth. You became the man they thought you'd never be. And you didn't need a single word to do it. The final step in becoming the man they thought you'd never be is stepping into your power without hesitation, apology, or permission. Most men waiting to feel ready, waiting to be validated, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for approval from people who have never walked the path they dream of. Waiting is how potential dies. Machiavelli would say that power belongs only to the one who claims it, never to the one who waits for it to be granted. Stop asking for permission to evolve. Stop seeking reassurance that your new direction is acceptable. Stop expecting the world to applaud your ambition or understand your transformation. They won't, not at first. People cling to the version of you that makes them comfortable. When you grow beyond it, they feel threatened, confused, or inferior. That is their burden, not yours. Walk boldly into the future you're building. Make decisions with finality. Set boundaries without explanation. Move with an authority that comes from within, not from external validation. Authority is not something others give you, it is something you decide to embody. When you act like a man in command of his life, the world slowly adjusts to that reality. You will notice a shift. Conversations change, respect increases, opportunities expand. The same people who once doubted you begin to question themselves. Your silence becomes power. Your presence becomes a statement. Your decisions become unarguable. And here lies the transformation they never expected. You didn't become louder, you became clearer. You didn't become arrogant, you became certain. You didn't become someone else, you became the version of yourself that was buried beneath hesitation and fear. This is the moment you stop living reactively. You stop shrinking, you stop explaining, you stop waiting. You step into the life you are building with both feet, both hands, and a mind sharper than ever before. This final shift is what completes the transformation. This is the moment the old you disappears. This is where you rise above every limitation, every doubt, every expectation. This is where you become the man they thought you'd never be.